Aaniin, Jonny Dishnakaz, Ashkigamung Donjpa, Mackinac Dodam, Anishinaabemowin. Hi, my name is Jonny. I'm from Curve Lake First Nation. My clan is Turtle, and I'm an Anishinaabe man. Welcome to Hello Aaniin, a show about Ojibwe language and culture. Today we will be learning about the trickster Nanabush and the legend of the maple syrup. First, I'd like to give you a little bit of background about my dialect. I am from Curve Lake First Nation, which is a band of Mississauga Anishinaabe, and our dialect may be different from some of the other dialects you hear around other Ojibwe communities. But remember, all Ojibwe is good Ojibwe. Ninatig, maple tree. Ninatig. Now literally, that could translate into man tree. Nini, man, atig, tree. Ninatig. Now Doug Williams-Bunn also said that it could have two meanings. Nin, which is good, nin, ga-atig, tree, ninatig, the good tree, ninatig. Opta sees Bachwood, maple syrup. Opta sees Bachwood, sees Bachtoka. He, she is making maple syrup. Sees Bachtoka. Now, in Curve Lake, sees Bachtoka de Big Jesus is the March moon. Sees Bachtoka de Big Jesus is the sugar making moon, or the syrup making moon. Sees Bachtoka. He, she makes maple syrup. Sees Bachtoka. Remember back in our introduction when I talked about things being a little different from Ojibwe community to community? The moons are one thing that may change. Sees Bachtoka de Big Jesus is the March moon in Curve Lake, but it may not be the March moon in another Ojibwe community. Remember, all Ojibwe is good Ojibwe.
Aaniin Donovan Taylor Dishnakaz. This is how you say maple tree in Anishinaabemowin. Ninatig, maple tree. Ninatig, ninatig, ninatig.
Aaniin Katie Dishnakaz. This is how you say maple tree in Anishinaabemowin. Ninatig, maple tree. Ninatig, ninatig, ninatig.
Ninatig, maple tree. Maple tree, ninatig.
Nanatig, maple tree. Maple tree, nanatig.
Nanatig, maple tree. Nanatig, nanatig, nanatig.
Nanatig, maple tree.
Let's discuss the hero of our story, Nanabush. But before we talk about him and learn about Nanabush, let's learn about some other tricksters from other native cultures. We have the raven in the Pacific Northwest. We have coyote way down in the Southwest. We have Wisaki Jack, the Cree trickster, Wisaki Jack. We also have Uskap, who is the Mi'kmaq version of Nanabush. Now, Nanabush is the son of Winona and the son of the West Wind. So his mom was human and his dad was a spirit. So Nanabush is half human, half spirit. And in this way, Nanabush is sometimes good in these stories and sometimes he's naughty. So Nanabush is a central character in many of our Ojibwe legends. And in some of these stories, he'll be mischievous, and in others, he'll be good. And in that way, he's very human. In listening to these stories, you're going to hear the 7 grandfather teachings are woven in. How? Amba, Mashtara, let's get started with our story. Nanabush and the maple syrup. Kachi Melja, long, long ago, at the beginning of the world, Kachi Manedo wanted to make life easier for his people. He stocked the earth with animals, fish, berries, and plants, so Anishinaabeg would never want for anything. This included the Nanaticoke maple trees. They were filled with thick, sweet maple syrup. If anyone wanted to collect maple syrup, all they would have to do was break off a branch, and that Optices bachwood maple syrup would flow freely from the Nanatig maple tree. One day, Nanabush set out on a walk. I think I'll go and visit my friends the Anishinaabeg and see what they are up to. Nanabush loved the Anishinaabeg because they told great stories, sang beautiful songs, and they always had tasty food. A good meal was never far from Nanabush's mind. So before we go any further, sometimes Nanabush is nice and sometimes Nanabush is naughty in these stories. What's your prediction as to what Nanabush is going to be? Is he going to be naughty or is he going to be nice? When he reached the village, there was no sign of life. No Anishinaabeg visiting, no Benojiag children running around, and not a wisp of smoke drifting out of a wigwam, a house wigwam. Where are the people? Nanabush thought to himself. He went down to the lake, and there was no one fishing. I bet they're hunting in the Magyok woods, Nanabush said to himself. He strode into the woods, and what do you think he saw? What do you think Nanabush saw? Make a prediction. Let's read on and find out. Nishnaba after Nishnaba, laying on their back under the Nanaticoke, with their mouths wide open, catching the Optices bachwood dripping from the tree. Gluttons! Nanabush cried out. One Nishnaba sat up, grinned at Nanabush, and laid back down to continue his feasting. No, 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 no! This is not going to work out, said Nanabush. My people will be fat and lazy. They won't ever have to work or earn their keep. This is not the way Anishinaabeg were meant to live. So he went down to the lake. He had a big basket that he had made with wigwas, birch bark. He brought up basket after basket filled with nibe, water. He went to the top of the Nanatig and poured the nibe down inside so the syrup became thinner. The thick maple syrup that once flowed from the twigs was now a runny sap. It was still sweet, but not as sweet as before. This is how it is going to be from now on, said Nanabush. If Anishinaabeg want maple syrup, they will have to fill up wigwas baskets with the sap. They will have to gather sun, firewood, and build a fire so they can heat up sinig, rocks, to drop into those baskets. The stones will heat up the sap, and this will produce Optices bachwood. This way, my people will not grow fat and lazy, and they will be thankful for the gifts that Kichiminido, the Great Spirit, has given them. And, continued Nanabush, the Nanaticoke will only flow at a certain time of the year. This way, it will not affect hunting, fishing, and gathering seasons. It is still that way till this day. Meow. The end.
This is how you say, he, she is making maple syrup. Zizboktoka, he, she is making maple syrup. Zizboktoka, Zizboktoka, Zizboktoka.
Aaniin, now we're going to learn how to say he, she makes maple syrup. Zizboktoka, he, she makes maple syrup. Zizboktoka, Zizboktoka, Zizboktoka.
Zizboktoka, make maple syrup. make maple syrup, zizbaktika.
Zizbaktike, make maple sugar. Make maple sugar, zizbaktike.
Making maple syrup, zizbaktika. Making maple syrup, zizbaktika.
Zibaktoka. Making maple sugar.
Jimigwatch for trying out your Anishinaabemowin. Ginita Gigid, you're a good speaker. Maybe you, the viewer, would like to give that a try. Give it a try. Let's have some fun learning a new language. Gintam, your turn. Gintam. Let's learn some vocabulary from Nanabush and the maple syrup. Kache, kache, meuja. Long, long ago. Kache, kache, meuja. Kache Menido, the Great Spirit. Kache Menido. Nishnabeg, the people. Nishnabeg. Ninatagog, maple trees. Ninatagog. Opta sees Bachwood, maple syrup. Opta sees Bachwood. Now, usually we learn the singular before the plural in our lessons, but we're going to say Ninatig, maple tree. Ninatig. So, Ninatig, Bajig ata, one only. Ninatig, maple tree. Ninatagog, maple trees. And then we have the ending, Mi'il. That's it. Or the end. Mi'il. So now we can take away some of the morals from the story and also some vocabulary. Chimigwach Bazinduea, thank you for listening. That will bring us to the end of this episode. Now you know a little bit more about Ojibwe language and culture. Now you know more about our hero trickster, Nanabush. Nanabush is the central character in many of our legends, and we only share legends in the wintertime. Now, hopefully you have picked up some morals and values from Nanabush and from the story, and hopefully you realize how hard it is working in the sugar bush and how special it is working in the sugar bush. And should you be working in the sugar bush, I want to say Chimigwach to you for providing us with that Optices Bachwood, the maple syrup. Optices Bachwood. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Hello Aaniin. As always, Wawana, take care. Kuwabmin, see you later. Miigwech, thank you.